Falsicans, how are we doing today? Welcome to the DeFi Crypto Alliance Show, the loudest megaphone in pulse chain land. I'm Corey Geary, and we are doing our best to bridge the gap between our fellow entrepreneurs and the best damn crypto community around. Pulse chain. Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Boy, do I got a show for you guys today. This is going to be a lot of fun. And you guys might know this gentleman. I've been following him since I've been in the Richard Heart ecosystem. He keeps me pretty well entertained for the last 3 years. I can just go watch his content and get a good laugh because he has the best way, in a comical way, to shut up all the haters, which is what I love about him. So I'm going to bring the guy on, the myth, the man, the legend. Let's go, Mr. Johnny Chaos. What up, bro, man? Whoa. How are we doing today, dude? This is going to be a fun show. I can't wait to dive in.
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate the efforts and stuff you do for the community, keeping people entertained and energized. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're gonna start off with thoughts and concerns.
Yes, we will.
And which I think is great. That is stuff that needs to be addressed. And then we're going to have a completely different conversation, and we're going to see how that actually relates back to that. Because what people need to understand is that you need to meet people where they are. Not everybody is educated or knows the difference between this or that. So you have to talk to people in their area of expertise so they can relate to those things, so that they have a better comfort level and better understanding about it. You can't conform everybody to, they need to understand everything you've learned in the past 4 years. You have to start from somewhere. So, Corey, I'm going to ask you, you have some serious concerns about the performance of what EHex can do. And I want you to talk about why you feel that the Ethereum side hex is the higher risk than the pulse chain risk. And then we're going to have that other conversation. So
first,
go ahead.
I want to address one thing, though, with the audience, and to make sure that the audience knows this is not an EHex versus PHex debate, guys. In full disclosure, not financial advice, of course. I'm just a guy on the internet. You guys buy whatever the hell you want to buy. I don't care. I own both assets. I own bags of both of these assets. So I just want everyone to know this isn't like, oh my God, Corey's going down, the PHex maxi route. No, that's not what's going on here. But most of you guys who watch my show know that I feel like EHex is a high risk, high reward play. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll give the analogy, like I do real estate. And I was talking about, you were telling about this, Johnny, before we got in the show in the green room. When I go assess a property, I'm going to assess the risk that I have to take on, and the reward that I get at the end of the movie when I'm done with that risk with the property. The risk being like, how much is the rehab? What's the time limit? Do I got to pull permits? All this stuff that I got to do. And that's how I assess that's how I assess everything in life. It could include
one question. Going back to your real estate.
Yeah.
What are the 3 most important aspects of real estate? And they teach you that in real estate school.
The numbers have got to make sense as the most important thing.
It's the same word over and over again. It's location, right? Put that aside. Go ahead and now continue.
Yes, location is everything. I'm not going to flip a house in the middle of like the Midwest where I don't know the market and I don't know who the buyers are. But if I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I get a good property, but I'll actually fix and flip a property in Phoenix sight unseen. I've done that many times, where someone will send me a property. I'd be like, oh yeah, I know the numbers here. I know what the rehab's going to cost. I know what contractor will fix it. And it's easy because I've done it so many times there. And that's
in that area, right? Okay. Stop right there. Let's hold for a second. Okay. So it's easier to sell something in a higher trafficked area
than it
is in a new area that's just starting out, or rural area.
It is. I would not flip a house in Puerto Rico.
Okay, let's continue.
I would not flip a house in Puerto Rico because I know we're going to talk a little about that. And I live in Puerto Rico, and I would not flip one here because the risk is too high. Though there's a very high risk here because for one, there's no good contractors. For two, they take forever to do the work, and for me, the risk isn't versus the reward's not worth it.
How easy it is to sell? How easy is it to sell something in, say, New York City versus Puerto Rico?
Oh man, in New York City, you can sell something very easily. You put it on market, if you're priced right. If you're priced right, you can be gone within days on market. Where in Puerto Rico, man, it's just this house I'm in right now. He's had it on market for 10 months. 10 months. He's had this house now. Now he's overpriced, and I told him that. I'm like, bro, you're overpriced on this property. I'm telling you right now, and he doesn't care. His homeowners have their own problems and biases that they gotta learn. But you get my point.
So in higher trafficked areas, like say New York versus Puerto Rico, you would expect to pay a premium in the higher trafficked area. So it would be actually unusual for, say, Puerto Rico to have the premium versus like a larger city like New York.
Typically, yes. New York would have the more expensive property versus over Puerto Rico. Now, there are parts of Puerto Rico where there's pockets, though, where you have where like all the millionaires are at, right? Like Toronto Beach. Toronto Beach, there's a little tiny pocket there where that's where the gold.
Oh, absolutely. So
right?
technically, those smaller spaces can be condensed with people with a lot of money. They can possibly keep the prices artificially inflated.
Yes,
oh.
we have that here. Yeah, we have that here.
And then what happens when those buyers run out?
Well, if the buyers run out, well, then it crashes like everything else, right? I mean, you got to have buyer demand no matter what for anything. If that's the same.
You maintain those premiums, then, right? Once the people that are interested are no longer buying and they're no longer acquiring.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I get where you're saying so New York would be Ethereum. New York's Ethereum. Pulse Chain's Puerto Rico. I wouldn't fund Pulse Chain like that, Mr. Johnny.
Let's talk about your moving. Let's talk about your moving for a second, Corey. How easy was it? How easy was it for you? How easy was it for you to pack up all your shit and go to Puerto Rico? How easy has that been for you?
Oh, it's never easy, bro. Like I got a family, right? I got 2 daughters, which we were talking about before the show. I got a wife, right? I got a wife and 2 daughters. That's not easy. And 4 cats. We brought the fucking cats with us. That's how insane we are. We brought the damn cats with us because my wife, I can't break them up, right? And so when we go back, we're going back actually October 29th. We're moving back, which is like, oh my God, it's right around the corner. I'm excited, but it's like scary to your point because it's a lot of work. Going back, we have to, pack everything up, mail everything in the mail and sell everything off. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and a pain in the ass.
And your car's not over there. You don't even have your car. Boy, that's lucky.
I got a car in Arizona. I got a car here, but this car here, I got to either A, sell it or B, put it on a boat and ship it to Arizona, which both options are still up in the air.
So what you're saying is it's kind of hard for you to pack everything up, put it on a ferry, drive it across the ocean to get the car where you want it to be. That's a deterrent, right?
It sucks. Yeah, it does. Now the reward when I get there, I'm happy because I'm excited to get back to Arizona because that's home. It really is home for us, and we've been here for almost 4 years. But it sucks. The process sucks. Yeah, it's brutal.
Not to mention, how does it feel to be in a new area, in a new environment, maybe not being able to speak the language? That could be uncomfortable, right? Surrounded by a bunch of new people, giving up you're giving up your friends, your family. They're far away from you now. You don't have the convenience of this store or that store or whatever, right?
There's the problem is the way they live life out here. It's Latin America, right? This is not the United States, even though it's United States territory. It's not ran by the normal United States government. So the due process out here, it sucks. Like the roads suck. the power's always going out, the water's always going out. The infrastructure sucks. They don't put the money because they're crooked politicians here. They don't put the money back into the economy. They keep the money. Yeah. So
damn those crooked politicians not putting money back into their projects.
No, right. Okay. Yeah. Do we want to go down that rabbit hole? Wow. Yes. That is exactly what Puerto Rico is, though. And so you have to get used to that piece. And there is some smaller inconveniences, like you mentioned. Like my wife, she's Chinese, and so she cooks a lot of different great Chinese food, but she don't get those ingredients out here in Puerto Rico.
Huh? Harder to get everything that you need, yeah.
You can get everything you need in Arizona. That's no problem at all. They have grocery stores there, big as any grocery store in China. It's crazy. You can get whatever you want. So, yeah, the convenience is huge. It's huge. The inconvenience part is huge. It's a big factor of moving and living where you're at, and which is one of the reasons why we are going back. Had I known about the DeFi Wealth Trust, which you guys hear me shield all the time, it's in the show notes, www.defiwealthtrust.com. If I'd had access to that before Puerto Rico, I would have never came to Puerto Rico, to be honest with you. So that's how inconvenient,
so let's talk about
inconvenient it is.
I got another point here. Because of the expense, you went to Puerto Rico, correct?
Yeah.
Now,
wait a
second. Now that you know there's a way to save on expenses, you would have never went to Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's accurate. Yes, right. Yeah. So had I known about the way to save on taxes without giving it up an arm and a leg, yeah, of course, I would have done that route before.
So what if you could save on gas fees because things got a little bit better and the conditions got a little bit better and the rules changed a little bit? What if the minute you start saving, all of a sudden it kind of eliminates that urgency to actually pack up everything that you've got and move across to somewhere new, right?
Well, especially since that's something new was supposed to be the relief of that expensive gas fee or that problem. And then that problem seems like it worked itself out in that city.
Boy,
at least it's still working itself out. Like it's doing a good job of doing so.
So that is kind of funny, isn't it? Because the thing that triggered, the solution, here's the thing: people get this idea that things are ever going to be, they're always going to be the same in an evolving space. Okay. And if you're understanding my real estate conversation here, which everybody is, they're getting, and I see Corey's eyes, they're just like, oh shit, man. I just see that look. But here's the thing. Okay. You think I might be bashing our new city. That's not true. Here's the thing. Las Vegas was once a desert.
Yes.
The best time to buy property in Las Vegas was before the first casino ever.
I was just going to make that point. You're right.
So now if you go to buy property in Las Vegas, you're going to spend a lot.
You're going to buy the premium. You're going to pay the premium.
Because later more people came in and they build up that city. Now we have a lot going on over in Pulse Chain, and we have a lot of developers building a lot of cool stuff, but it's a lot of cool stuff that no one's using because the people aren't there yet. We've got this great big city that's being built. Fantastic, but we've got to get the people there. And the point that I'm making here is it's not so easy to move. It's not so easy to just change your life. You've got conveniences. People will pay a premium to live in New York City, and they might not know. We got to talk about franchising. Okay, this is where it comes in really important. This is why the EHex PHex debate was dumb. And the only people that even use that terminology are us. Hex is hex. If you're on Uniswap,
I agree.
You're buying hex. You're not buying EHex. It doesn't say EHex. It says hex. If you're over on Pulse Chain, it says hex. You're buying hex. It's the same car, different city. Same exact car. Precision to the T. All of the designs, it runs just fine. It was never broken. Ethereum just needed to get their roads fixed. Okay, that was the problem. It wasn't that Hex was a problem.
Okay, can I stop you there? Okay, say Elon Musk made 2 Teslas, one for this city, one for this city over there, and he's like, okay. First, he made the Tesla in New York, and he's like, "This is the Tesla for New York. It's going to be great." Da da da. And it was great. It did the job at the highest level that it possibly could do. And then he's like, "You know what? I think I want to build a Tesla specifically for Puerto Rico." And he comes over here and builds a Tesla, and then he tells everybody, "Hey, don't use the Tesla in New York anymore. It sucks." If Elon Musk came out and said that, then
people would say it's the same damn car. It is the same damn car. What your normal person would say, what's the difference? Frankly, your normal person is going to say, but which one's cheaper? Why would I leave my city to go across the boat to an island to pay more when I could just go to my local store and pick it right up off the shelf? Why would they do that? That makes absolutely no sense. And the other thing is, not everybody knows who we are. Not everyone knows who Richard is. Not everybody cares. Hardly anybody. Richard has 325,000 followers. You're like, oh, that's a lot. Rand Nooner's got like 2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? In the big scope of things, because I've been to conventions with real celebrities. I met Danielle Harris. I met Cassandra Peterson. I met Tom Savini. I met like real people, David Arquette, real celebrities. They aren't real celebrities, guys. They're even the biggest names in crypto are pseudo celebrities. They're not, if you want to call them that. And we're like nothing. So if people see a brand, this is where we're going to go into franchising. Okay. If you buy a Tesla Model Y in New York, it's the same Tesla Model Y in Puerto Rico.
It is.
Why would you drive X amount of miles, hop a ferry, and go over there to buy it for a cheaper price when you want to take it back home and you're going to throw it back on the ferry and take it back over the ferry and then drive it home?
What if Elon said, I'm no longer going to service those Teslas. I'm no longer going to give you parts for those Teslas. I'm not going to he basically said, this is no longer a Tesla. This is, I don't know, right.
That's not what was said. What was said?
Well, okay.
What was said? Hold on, Corey.
And this is one of my concerns. This is definitely one of my big risks. Okay. Is that the founder wakes up and gets grumpy one day, and he makes one tweet and sends it down 95% in value while I'm sleeping, and I wake up and now my EHex portfolio is down 95%.
First of all, he can't, because the people that were affected by that are already out. So he can't just wake up
before.
But you know what? He can do it again, and the same people that left as a reaction to it are on the other chain now. So if they are affected by, oh my God, I'm trying to pick the coin that Richard's going to put his money into,
that's exactly the problem, right?
I can get a rebate.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to pump and dump in front of Richard, and they're trying to get on the right coin to do so. I get it.
That's not believing in the network or the ability of it.
No, it's not at all. It's not.
So if the car was never broken, it's just it. If the car was never broken and you have a discount in the big city where you should technically have a premium, why couldn't you see that catching up?
And it has since he shit on it. It has, and it's starting to now, right? And we're starting to see it run, which is very fascinating. And I love it because I have a bag, guys. Don't think I'm like shitting on. I like EHex. Don't get me wrong here. I do. I love EHex. I have a bag. But these are some of the risk I see, right? And he could. What if he starts streaming again, right? I do believe RH will come back someday to streaming. I don't know if he will or not, but I believe he will. And what if the first stream he goes, "Why are you guys buying EHex? I told you to leave there. Pulse changed the real hex." EHex, that would tank the price again 95% if he did that. Would it not?
People buy dog and cat coins over on Ethereum. Why can't something like Hex literally thrive over there, regardless of what Richard does?
It will, but I don't.
Why are we the only community that's if Richard? But
Richard's a risk to EHex.
Richard gave us a hammer. we're supposed to build the house. Okay. Richard gave us the hammer. We're supposed to build the house. He's not buying your bags. It doesn't matter what coin you're in. He's not buying your bags. All that attracts is the tourist. Are you a resident or are you a tourist? That is the question. Tourists do nothing but come in, tear up the town, and then go home.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you're going to get on Pulse Chain until you get a balance there. Now, the reason I advocated so hard at the very beginning for the 1-to-1 ratio, because I thought that it would be foreseen that all this damage would occur if it wasn't. And sure enough, all that damage that I was afraid of, that I tried to run around preemptively and say, guys, don't go down that road. Don't create division. Don't try to make it a one side or the other thing. It happened anyway, regardless of all the efforts. It didn't matter. So,
and then Pulse Chain price charts have suffered because of it. I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why Pulse Chain price charts sucks.
It wasn't. Richard may have triggered that because of people's interpretation to it, but he was not the one selling the price down.
I agree, but he moves markets when he says something.
He moves the current existing market because it's like a captain saying, everybody move to that side of the ship, right? So you move to that side of the ship because the captain says, okay, fine. And then a few people stand on the other side. And then you've got the people on that side of the ship going, we're standing with the captain. Ha, your side is sinking. By the way, they send somebody over there to drill a hole in that side of the ship so it sinks faster, right? It's sinking faster on that side. They're like, look at you, you're going down. Side. And then on the beach is the rest of the world. And they're looking out and they're going, don't these idiots know they're on the same damn boat? And that comes with franchising. The brand damage that has been done here by the community, not by Richard Hart, but by the community, is the fact that they said that EHex is bad. Guess what, people hear? Hex is bad. Which one? EHex or PHex? That comment alone, that causes confusion. What did that do? What did that actually do for the community? It caused confusion. If you're confused about a choice between two things, sometimes you don't buy either.
A confused mind never buys.
You buy the wrong one, right?
We see that in sales all the time. I've been in sales for multiple years now, and a confused mind never buys. If you give somebody 2 or 3 offers, they usually pick 0. If you give them 1 offer, they usually go, oh, you know what? I like that offer. I'll take it. And that's been a lesson that I've learned many times over in my my entrepreneur journey.
And that's what's happened here is the brand damage. And you talk about franchising. If the area you live has a brand of restaurant, we can say McDonald's, okay? Sure. You've had nothing but bad experience at that McDonald's, okay? And it's horrible. It's messy. It's, the food's always cold.
I won't go to no McDonald's then.
You won't go to any McDonald's then. No, exactly.
So
now answer me this question. If you have a franchise business and it cannot survive in the biggest metropolis there is, what probability will that restaurant chain survive in the woods with no roads to it?
Oh, 0.
There you go. So here's the problem. Where is the risk? With the franchise damage, you might as well just not buy any hex, because if it can't survive in the biggest city, what's the chance of it surviving on its own little private island that you have to take a ferry across the bridge and go over there? I mean, are you going to get everybody to if you want to leave a dead body in the middle of a city and say, hey guys, check this out. Look what we did. Why don't you come over here to our island for some more? I mean, how's that effective marketing? That's not. So if you had the option, what would you do? You would want to place the biggest, most beautiful billboard in that metropolis that says, hey guys, this is what we did. This is what we did over here in the metropolis.
150%, bro. Like, I wish that had happened from the get-go, but it didn't happen. That's what should have happened. And then we all know that. And it just didn't.
Right. And that's because people left, right? They went against Richard's delayed gratification. They emergency unstaked. They got a fraction of their coins back. They sold their bag to do the migration. And guess what? I got a little something to tell you. They don't have any coins. You know where they do have coins? They have coins where they sold and left too. So the highest risk is actually where the people that have already left have gone, because they've already proven that if Richard says something, they're going to drop their bags again. And they're probably not staked. They're probably in more positions where they're scared now.
They're not staked.
The biggest argument was that, everyone's saying staking is dumb. It's like, okay, well, that's great if you're only assuming to be around for one cycle, right? Staking is dumb. Then we don't know what this cycle is going to bring. We don't know what the next new all-time is. We've only had one all-time high. We've only had one season, right? And this is the craziness that has gone on, and this is primarily because of decentralized marketing. This is not, Richard did not put all this stuff out here. I saw that it was going to happen this way if people didn't get on board from the start. I thought that Richard, or I thought that the OA would set it up like that to begin with, to create a universal conduit between chains, that it would be easily, because then you would just buy Hex.
Then it's just Hex. It doesn't matter where.
You just take your Hex on Ethereum, and then you just bridge it over, and then you get Hex on Pulse Chain.
It's just Hex is Hex, right?
Yeah, and then you would buy, if you wanted to transfer over, you wouldn't be transferring in USDC. A Hex is a Hex. It would have been your base unit, your base conduit between chains, and that would have been a brilliant idea if it would have worked out that way, but it didn't, right? The OA had a very hands-off approach for seeing how these things were going to happen. It's hands-off. All it has done is it's equally staked on both sides of the chain to say, sure, let the shit play out. Because what we have now is we've got two different options. All right. We've got what the people are doing in the city. They're a completely different market. And then we've got the new ramps that are being built that hopefully in the future will replace the centralized exchange method and cut them out of the picture as a middleman. So that's the objective there, is to eventually create a parallel system that will cut them out. And then people hopefully getting the tablets and stuff come directly into Pulse without ever touching Ethereum, right? But for the people that are already in the big city and they don't want to move yet, they've got the option. They're going to buy what's cheaper. They're going to buy what's closer. And that's what they're going to do before they're comfortable going from there to the other direction. So
I agree with that. And that's the reward part that I think it has very high upside reward because of that fact right there in the low liquidity environment coupled. So those two things right there make it an extremely high reward play, which is why I own a bag. I do own a bag. And I have all my stakes too. I have all my stakes. I have all my stakes. I got my liquid. I got what, like I have my bags, right? Yeah, I want to address one other thing though, too, that really concerns me. It's a concern. That's all it is after the launch of Pulse Chain, it's a concern, right?
It concerns me. This is what the trolls do. Because not you, but the trolls plant those guys. Concerned about
concerned trolls.
Let me plant this seed so that it can fester in your brain. But go ahead.
Shortly after launch, the Godwell sent over 800 million EHex to a known scammer that was doing a sacrifice on Pulse Chain. Now, I don't know if he was really, I feel like he was a known scammer. I
don't know, man, but he's been stronger hands than everybody else. He still ain't out yet. He's still got 6 million Hex. How many y'all out there still got 6 million EHex? I think BankX is showing you all out.
I got more than 6 million EHex, I'll tell you right now. But and that's my liquid bag, not even my staked. But I regress. He's still the guy. Well, I don't know who the guy well is. There's a lot of theories out there. I feel like the guy is very close to Richard, or knows Richard, or who knows.
Who cares?
And who cares? Right? It doesn't really matter.
Listen, Corey. Godwell is this big in the scheme of things.
But it was.
I know guys going to drop $100,000 just on an idea. Okay,
do you not agree it was done to make a statement, though?
What I agree with is a lot of idiots have crypto. A lot of idiots got really rich. A
I
lot of
agree.
idiots got really rich really quick, right? And that doesn't mean that they always make the best decisions. That doesn't mean they can't make a mistake. Okay. The fact is that there is 8 billion people in the world. There's 5 billion adults in the world. How many people we got in Hex? You
I know.
know, we're
A
trying
lot
to
of
see
room to grow.
magnitude.
I know.
We've got people running around. They call us trailer park trash. They call us Timu chain over here. Okay, there is real money in this world. I watch a guy all the time. He makes like more than most people make in a weekend. You know, than they'll ever make in a lifetime. You know, there are people out there that have significant amounts of money that can say, "Yeah, I'll throw 100,000 in," because 100,000 to them is like $10.
It's like $10. I know
So,
people like that too. Yeah.
and they can't all just come into Hex because the prices go through the roof because there's just not availability. And the
No,
thing is,
no.
all
I
the
love
people
that
that
part.
left, they know their way back in.
Yeah.
They know their way back in. And trust me, when those green candles come, they're going to come back in. But the problem is they're going to be competing for positions against the new people that are coming in with absolutely no bias. They don't know who any of us are, and they see the word Hex, and that's good enough for them. Wherever they're at, I'm gonna buy some of that. Oh, look, it's cheaper over here than it is over here. How many can I get for $1? We got to stop trying to project. Everybody's 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 perspective or reference point is themselves. So you're like, well, I would this or I would that. The market isn't you. You have to look at the conditions and say, dude, there is a big city over there. We have an opportunity to have the best advertisement in the world in the biggest city, just like Richard and his Pulse Chain Reserve. That's a billboard, guys. That ain't your money. That's a billboard. That's a status. Okay.
Yep.
Rich
I
people
agree.
want status. They don't buy 10 watches because they need 10 watches. They don't buy 10 watches to sell 10 watches. They don't buy a whole bunch of stuff to put up on their wall necessarily to sell it. They buy it to put it up on the wall so they can say, see that? That's mine. That's it. That's what it is. And you know what? It works. Is Michael Saylor's going to buy anything of yours? Is he doing anything to help you whatsoever? No. The reason, if he sold his Bitcoin tomorrow, he'd be a nobody. If he sold all his Bitcoin tomorrow, he would be irrelevant. He is only relevant as long as he's holding that big bag and adding to it. The minute he stops, nobody cares. When a person is seeking significance, they want to have a position to say, I've got a position. If you're in a hurry to exit your position, well, then you don't have a position anymore. If you if you spend all the dollars in the bank, you're not rich anymore. If I have all this money, I'm going to this, I'm going to that, I'm going to this, and that's why you're broke. Because you already have plans to spend money that you don't even have yet. And people that are making money are expanding their position. They're trying to add to their stack. They're trying to make more. The problem isn't, the majority of the problem people have is we are born in a debt society, okay, where everybody just takes out debt and then they think about paying for it later. So they actually, instead of saving, they have learned to spend money before it's even in their pocket.
Yep.
They're not trying to build a
100%.
position. They're just trying to get as much stuff. That's the problem.
Keep up with the Joneses.
And yeah, keeping up with the Joneses will make you broke
Make you so
quicker
broke.
than anything else. You know, if you think you're going to keep up with a billionaire, you're going to shop like a Timu millionaire, shopping like a billionaire. I swear they got that from Richard. I swear, because of Richard's videos, they came up with that shopping like a billionaire thing. There are all kinds of weird coincidences like that in marketing and advertisement that I see. They know what's going on here. The marketing people are smart enough to look at this stuff and go, ooh, we got to incorporate that. If you watch the exchanges, you'll notice that the exchanges are now trying to justify their existence. No, we add all these additional safety features if you keep your money with us. Watch it. They are trying to justify their existence right now because DeFi is coming.
Yeah.
Decentralization is coming. What we're seeing in crypto has been institutionalization. You have two companies that are getting all the new Bitcoin. You aren't. Hex is like the coin where you, not some miner, no matter how much you get, you are getting something. You're getting something out of it. You can't even mine. If you don't have X amount of equipment and join a mining pool, you can't mine, or you've got to give your money to somebody else and hope that you get it back. That is what the importance of Hex is right there, is it allows you to participate in the network and you get the rewards and you mint them yourself. And Richard's not giving anybody rewards. You're giving you rewards, right? And if people don't see that this system is valuable, no matter where it is potentially the most valuable thing on Ethereum because you are the network. It was built on Ethereum because it was the big city. The infrastructure was already there. That was less things Richard had to build. And guess what? It's not broken. The roads were bad. The Ethereum gas fees were high. We have already seen what Hex can do in those high gas environments. Because if you remember, the top of Hex at 56 cents was in the worst conditions Ethereum had ever experienced for gas. Because people weren't emergency on staking. Because if they did, they would have gotten nothing. So no more Hex was coming on the market. You had a liquidity crunch. And a lot of that had to do with the negative annotation of those gas fees being expensive. Your average person could participate and just go in and out willy-nilly. They had to be restrictive, right? So sometimes those restrictions, it's like you have to have a certain amount of money to be in a certain neighborhood, right? You're not going to get in there. You're not going to get a $20,000 house in that neighborhood, right? So sometimes those negative externalities can be a benefit. Now, I don't know if we're going to experience those because I think Solana has taken load off Ethereum. I think Pulse Chain has taken load off Ethereum. I think Sui and Sei have taken load off Ethereum. I think people are doing other things. Base. Yeah. So we are moving into a multi-chain world. And the funny thing is, everything we build over here incorporates everything else, but they're not incorporating us. So we have everything they do plus. That's where it gets interesting. We have everything they do plus. Coast is a direct onboarding ramp.
Love Coast. Yeah.
And Old Glory Bank is a crypto-friendly bank, right? You're going to have to, anybody that comes into crypto is going to have to set up some account. And what's nice about Coast is they don't own your coins. You're buying your coins and they're sent to your wallet.
Directly to your wallet.
They're not a custody service.
It's beautiful. Okay. And you can direct on and off right to your bank account. It's like,
and that is the future of crypto. Because these middlemen have inserted themselves in the middle, they are struggling and fighting to hold on to that. Watch their commercials. They know this is coming. The reason we have been hidden from general mainstream crypto, people have been threatened. Mason lost his Binance sponsorship because he started talking about Hex. They pulled his Binance sponsorship.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So these influencers are threatened not to talk about us, or they lose their sponsorships, and that's their livelihood. So they've been threatened. We've been gatekept by the main websites. We've been obscured and obfuscated. We were removed for 2 years. We were removed from Matcha and for 2 years. So anybody that wants to say EHex performance sucks, well, first of all, they pulled it off the shelves where nobody could find it. So what actually did happen when people did look for it? We were the top 5 traded token in MetaMask swap because people didn't even look at it. Well, it's not in Uniswap, but guess what? I could just click a couple buttons and I could get some right here. So I'm just going to do it. So they paid the extra fee. And that's not hexagons because hexagons know the way around it. So we make this assessment that because we know these ways around, we know how to go to swap.hedron.pro. We can use the front end of Uniswap. We can use multi-networks. We can use Ethereum. We can use Ethereum W. We can screw around with those unsupported networks if we want to. We know how to add a custom RPC to our wallet from the start. We have learned all that stuff. These people don't. They think crypto is holding coins on their exchange, and that's exactly what mainstream wants them to keep believing because that's where they get their sponsorship and referral money from.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm going to throw something out there, and this is kind of an unpopular-ish opinion.
Go
I
ahead,
saw
Roy.
I saw a meme on Twitter. Maybe it was like last week, and I think maybe Sami maybe created the meme and threw it out there. I don't remember who created it, but it might have been Sami. And it was a picture of Richard Hart saying, "This is this cycle's final boss." And to me, because everything you're saying, I agree with, but I don't know if RH agrees with that.
He's
Because
not buying. He's not.
right,
He's
he's not
not
buying.
the customer. RH is not the customer. He
Right,
is the
I
sales
agree.
guy. Now you can sell. I can try to sell you a Lamborghini, but if a Pinto's in your price range, that's what you're going to buy. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the car salesman's trying to sell you.
I
You're
ain't
going to
buying
buy
a
what's
Pinto,
within your
Johnny.
range.
I'm going to buy a Lambo. Damn it!
Well, you're going to buy what's within your range, right? You didn't buy a Lambo. You bought a Corvette.
I bought a Corvette.
You got close enough, right? Close enough. I want you to think about this, Corey.
Sure.
You weren't buying a Lambo because it was too expensive, but you bought a Corvette because
I can get almost everything the Lambo has in the cost of a Corvette.
So what you're saying is the cheaper hex is the better hex then, because literally you get everything that the other one does and you don't have to pay the premium. So just think about that from the average aspect of an average person that's just coming in, or the fact how convenient that is to them because it's available where they already are. They don't have to go somewhere special or special order it or travel a ferry and go to the Cannibal Island where it looks like everybody's trying to eat each other and rob their pockets. Okay.
Exactly what it is.
So,
oh my God.
Again, there was no reason for anybody to force the EHex PHex debate because it's brand damage. And nobody even uses that terminology except us to distinguish. And there shouldn't be a question over which one is better. It's where do you want to live? That's it. It's not which one is better. It's where do you want to live? There are going to be benefits and there's going to be negatives.
If I want to own EHex on Cannibal Island, I can own EHex on Cannibal Island too. I mean,
I don't know that I want EHex on Cannibal Island, but the point being is the people that have already decided they want to go to one side of the boat or the other have already made that decision.
That's an interesting point.
They can no longer damage the price any farther.
And they had big bags. They had really big bags.
And the new people coming in, guess what? They don't care. They're going to buy what's available to them. They're going to buy brand awareness. Because to them, it's like, dude, I get it in my city at a discount. You know, new people don't say how expensive is it. They say how many I can get for $1. You know, they start to say how many can I get for $1? Yep. I mean, when you go buy penny candy, right? Well, I can only get 50 of those for $1, but I can get 100 of these for $1, right? You know, you got to go back and erase your mind from all the previous biases that you have. Take the situation, look at it from now. And here's the fact. Guys, Hexicans, you do not have to buy a single EHex. That's fine. You can migrate all the way over to Pulse. But what I'm telling you is there will be another 20,000 stakers that will replace your ass and would be more than happy to start from the beginning because they got a reset. They have no bias, no damage, no fear. They've seen what it has done, and they're coming in at a beautiful entry point. And from their perspective, it's nothing but up.
Right.
So you don't have to buy or participate. What you do have to do is stop doing brand damage and telling people, no, that's dumb, that's stupid, don't buy this one, buy that one, because you're causing brand damage, you're causing confusion. This was all the stuff that I was out there trying to fight, and everyone's like, oh, he's an EHex maxi. I said hold both from the very beginning, because if you hold both, you have 100% chance that you don't sell the wrong coin. Right. And if you choose one, you have a 50% chance that you've sold the wrong coin. So I was trying to give you the best probability, and I did not expect the amount of brand damage that got caused, but by God, right? You know, as far as anyone's concerned, hex is hex. To everybody else that isn't a hexkin, hex is hex. What the tweet should have said was Hexicans prefer hex on Pulse Chain. That would have been the accurate test, because the market has chosen The market isn't even here. The people that are going to buy my bags, they haven't shown up yet.
No,
it ain't you. They haven't shown up yet because y'all a bunch of cheap bastards.
no.
And you
Everyone
wouldn't
in
pay
the
me
chat,
enough. You wouldn't pay me enough for my bag, and I ain't selling it to you. I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to wait until people come along that actually appreciate it. Because as far as expecting just hexagons, no wonder y'all waiting for Richard to come along and buy your bag, because you ain't buying. You ain't doing enough. We already see what you're seeing. Why hasn't PHex done better? It's on a better, faster chain, right? Wasn't this supposed to be better? Well, EHex is the one that did 10,000x in 1.5 years. It's been 2 years. What y'all doing over there? It doesn't look like you're staking. It doesn't look like you're using the code the way it's designed to. It looks like you're waiting for Daddy Richard to pump your bag so you can sell on his head. That's what it looks like. But don't tell me about conviction. And he knows what you're doing. Why do you think he comes in and says, hello, sell pressure? He knows what you're doing. You think he's dumb? Come on, guys. The ethos was founders and holders make the money. That has always been the ethos. You're not a holder if you're dumping your entire bag to go do something else. That's not a holder. That's an exiter. That's a serial abandoneer. And no, I'm not going to follow a bunch of people that have already dumped on my head once. No interest. Thanks. Glad you're gone. Have a good time over there. I'll wait until you dump that side too, and then I'll come back over. I mean, that's really where I'm at. I totally know that currently it does not make any sense. We are the only coin over on Pulse Chain that's at a premium. Hex is the only coin over there that's at a premium. Why is that? Because in normal circumstances, the premium is in the bigger city, not in the new island, not in the new development. It's not there.
I agree with that.
So we are at a premium right now over there, and it has to come down or the other one has to come up. It has to happen. And I would suggest that when we do get to 1-to-1, you back it with liquidity. Everybody out there, you need to back it with liquidity, because you never, ever, 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 ever again want to hear the EHex PHex debate. You want it to die. You want it to stay dead. You want to say, hey, buy Hex where you live. Available on 2 chains. Which one's better? Doesn't matter. Same thing. Does the same thing. Buy it where you live. That should have always been the story. That should have always been the story. But that decentralized marketing, buddy, people trying to herd cattle, heard you from, oh, I dumped my bags over there. Everybody over here, don't look back there. I don't want you to see where I just took a big dump.
Well, if the narrative, before Pulse Chain launched, Richard Hart used to tote the narrative, EHex, PHex. I want Hex and all chain to be the same price and expensive. That was like the narrative he used to talk about. Why did that shift after launch? What is your guess on that? It'd be interesting to hear that.
Plain and simple. Why did Richard build? So Richard built pump tires, right? And everyone's like, oh, let's do that. That's Richard's next new thing. No, dummies. You're not supposed to dump your bags and go to Richard's next new thing. You weren't supposed to dump all your Hex bags to buy Pulse and PulseX. You're not supposed to dump your bags every time Richard comes out with a new thing. Holding is what you're supposed to do, but you don't. Okay? You think you're still chasing new things. You're just chasing his new things. And what that does is that leaves a wake of devastation behind you for new people to come in and take your place. Okay? But the reason he made pump tires was not to turn everybody into a memer. It was to draw the memers over to our chain. So instead of spending money on Solana and making Solana rich, he wanted to burn Pulse. So that's why he created. He said, look, actually that really should take away from the memeing, because you realize that like literally anybody can make a coin and put their own stamp on it. And that's really the only difference between the coin, since it's a template coin, is the rubber stamp. Okay, that and the intent of the person and the way they manage and handle the supply. But basically, those coins are set up for failure because they're all running on the same template. You're not going to get any better results or different results out of it because it's the same thing with a different rubber stamp. It's not going to do anything different. Okay, it's all cookie cutter shit. And the idea is, if everybody can do it, if you can, and everybody can, What's the point? Right? And all you're doing is you're eating at each other, right? You're trying to compete with each other for a scarce market supply of people that are interested in those particular products, and you just keep splitting it, splitting it, splitting it, splitting it, splitting it, till eventually it's not even worth doing anymore. It's like if you see somebody out there, oh, that guy's making $2,000 a day with a hot dog stand, so 5 more hot dog stands appear. Guess what? You're now competing to sell the bottom.
Yep.
Because now you're all trying to underprice each other. Now nobody makes $2,000 a day. It's all split up now because you're competing in a market where anybody can. Any and everybody can. A 12-year-old anonymous account can make a coin over on Pump Tires and put it up for market. And then if he's got enough bots running, he'll probably buy some. And they are all exactly the same coin. Hex is the only coin that Richard had developed. He didn't create it himself. He had it developed on his concepts. It is the only coin that is coded differently. It is the only coin that was designed to do a 10,000x. Everything else is a fork. Pulse is a fork of Ethereum. PulseX is a fork of Uniswap. Okay.
Well,
everything else is somebody else's homework.
The buy and burn and the way PulseX was designed.
Okay, you like buy and burn, Corey? Where's buy and burn come from? What was the coin that started the whole buy and burn thing?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not that old. I'm only a one cycle crypto. I came in last
Hex,
cycle.
Corey. It comes from Hex. The buy and burn Pulse chain has is one little bitty aspect of Hex. Because when you buy Hex, you burn it to create T shares, which removes it from the market. Okay? Polls, everybody's like, oh, buy and burn. I'm telling you right now, everybody that's going to the new thing, they're like, oh, I missed out on Hex. Let me move to the next new thing. And I'll tell you, there's more haters in PulseX than anything else because they missed the sacrifice for Pulse.
Yeah.
And the last thing they call it was the sacrifice for PulseX. And that's why it is done so poorly. And that's why I told everybody these things could go down as low as 1/10 the SAC price. Stop looking at SAC price. Build your position. You're going to be building your position for the next 2 years. That's what I told people. Nobody wanted to hear that shit. But that's what I told people. And it was really frustrating because nobody wanted to hear it. No, it's good. This one's going to be playing the one winning horse game. It's like a boat, an airplane, and a car. They all have different purposes. They're not the same thing. I want to pick the one coin that's going to go up the most. You're a tourist. You have no intention of being a resident. You're not sticking around. All you're doing is you want to pick up the coin that goes up the most so you can sell it and get the hell out. Well, just save us a little hassle and get the hell out. You know, it's so frustrating. I'm mad because the price didn't go up. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't know you were getting into a network? You didn't believe in the network to begin with? Tourist. And what do tourists do? They fuck everything up and they go home. That's what they do.
Yeah, well, of course.
That's what they do.
That's interesting to think that, you know, EHex doesn't have much tourists left in it.
No, tourists are gone. Now you've got new people going, ooh, prime real estate. Wait. You mean in New York City I can buy this? I could get 4 of these for a penny?
Yeah, that is something I did not put into my risk and reward analysis as far as the reward is concerned. That's a reward part, right? That the tourists are gone. And the guys who had the big bags, and man, there were some really big bag holders in EHex, and it's like anything else, right? They were OGs,
yeah.
And so they got out. They got out. You know, when the fork happened, it was before the fork, at the fork, and after the
all trading emotion, all trying to steer the crowd, manipulating it, and laughing the whole damn way. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about now. That brings a new light, at least to my perspective, as far as the reward is concerned. You know, it's got a lot less baggage, if you will, tied to keep it.
We've got less baggage and less baggage. That's right.
That's it, man. You got less baggage, so you might want to pick up more baggage in the process. Well, cool, bro, man. I do appreciate you coming on. We're coming up here on an hour. And like I said, it's wanted to come on and kind of hear your perspective. It's been a while. And I mean, I'm an EHex guy too. Like I like EHex. I just give it a higher risk. allocation.
Well, we have not changed
But
our perspective.
we have changed some perspective here. Yes, there is some perspective that has been changed. The biggest aha for me is really the tourists are gone there. It's hard to think where is the massive sell pressure, even if the founder did come out tomorrow and shit on it again, if that happened.
It's
Where
gonna
would the
sell
sell
EHex
pressure
down.
come from? Because there's nobody holding it no more. Besides people like you and some other, I'm holding it. Of course,
Me.
there's people holding it, but those are the ones dumping. They're not. They had a dump a long time ago. They'd have been. They had a
like
piece.
I said, Bank X has been the strongest holder. Everybody worrying about Bank X. They sold on their head. They sold on their head. They're the ones stuck holding the bag. They have been like epic holders this whole damn time. They still got 6 million. If you don't got 6 million EHex right now, you've got no room to talk shit on Bank X because they got more than you. And they held longer than you.
6 million EHex is still very, very cheap, my friend. Very cheap. That is in consideration to everything else, that's extremely cheap. So
it's like $9,000.
Yeah.
$9,000, guys. $9,000. You can have a bigger bag than Bank X for $9,000.
Yeah.
Because that's all they've got left. And but Corey, that goes back to, again, positioning, right? To have a position, to say, I own this much. Here, look at me. I have this position. And I mean, you don't have to do it like for bragging rights, but gosh, guys, it feels good to own things of value, right? Even if people don't value them right now, it's good to own things, to own a position. You're not buying a position today for today's value. You're expecting these things to go up over time. When that time is, maybe it's not in the time frame that you want it to, but I come at things from a collector's perspective because I've got toys on my wall older than some of our audience. Okay. So, I haven't gotten my price yet. You've got, why there's so many pawn shops? Because most people don't value what they hold. And the pawn shop owner is rich and you're not, because the pawn shop owner knows he's getting a deal and you don't know what you hold. That's why they end up rich and you end up poor, because you're willing to give away your position because you don't value it. And then other people are able to find value where you don't. So learn to find value. Start valuing things. Things become valuable when the people that hold them start to value them.
Yep.
No sooner, no later. People, they become a value when you start to value them. All the holders got to value it.
People love selling it. Yep. Which
all
is
right,
what's seen happening right now with EHex, to be honest with you. We've seen a lot of green candles, and I'm hoping that EHex continues its success and pisses
There's
off.
nothing to stop it now. Bank is about out, and so are the big bag holders that dumped.
The narrative ain't there no more. Yeah, the narrative ain't there anymore.
I'm waiting for, everyone's like, I'm waiting for Bank X to be completely out. Oh, that's the bright idea. Go shopping after the shelves are empty. See how that works out for you. Go shopping after the shelves are empty.
If you wait for them to dump the rest of their 6 million, Hex might be another 2 or 3x up.
Yeah. If you want to get
it's already up a 3 or 4x from the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. I don't even know. I haven't looked, but it's up quite a bit from the bottom already. If you'd have bought before, when Bank X had 50 million or 100 million, you probably would have got the bottom there.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, how much of Bank X's bag did you get? That's bragging rights on its own.
I got some.
Once they're gone, you can't even say that anymore. They're the only motivated seller. I mean, it's like, that smells like a liquidation sale to me. If you know there's one store that has most of the product and you can get that from them and they don't have any more to sell and there's no more in those areas to sell it, then guess what? You get to set a price. I've done this, dude. I've gone to conventions and somebody's got like 5 units to sell. I'll be like, how much you want for them all? I'll buy them right now. Turn around and put them in my booth for double the price. Sell them that day. I actually sold half the units, and then I made all my money back that I spent, plus I got product to put back on my wall. So my cost was net zero,
That's
right?
great.
And that's how people do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the
Because
entrepreneurial
they
way.
know where the deal is, right? But again, we are not all going to see things the same way, and it's silly for us to think that everyone's going to see things the way that we do. We have to account for people viewing it in a different way from their angle, from their city that we're not even in, that we can't reach, that we've had no communication with them whatsoever. They've never heard a word we've said. And maybe they've never even read Richard's tweet. If you look at the chart says this bitch is going up. The chart says this has already been to 56 cents. It can easily do $1 this cycle. So, like, just for it to catch up, it's got at least a 3x just to catch up now. It had a 5x to catch up. You could have bought it at 5-1, right? It had a 5x to catch up. You were getting 5 for a penny. Now you're only getting 3 for a penny. Pretty soon you're only going to get 2 for a penny. Then it's going to be a penny.
Yep.
Your buying power is as the price goes up, the amount that your dollar can purchase is going to get significantly less, exponentially less as the price rises. So if your bags are not packed, guys, you're gonna roll back this video and you're gonna go, oh. That's what he was trying to tell me.
Do you think the tablets and this direct mail campaign that he's doing, I think it's awesome, and it's very powerful. Do you think it has the power alone to do what you're talking about here and really drive?
We did a 10,000x with 20,000 stakers. That was 20,000 people on the Ethereum network in the worst possible gas conditions ever, without Richard buying everybody's bag up, like people like to say. He did it. It was all Richard. See, that's the other thing. I don't like this shit with the buying the bag thing, because that starts the whole narrative. Your FUD that you're going to be fighting all the way upstream now is that it only pumped because Richard bought it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're going to fight all the way upstream. We still get that. Everyone says Richard did it. No, what happened was Hex was new. It was the new thing. People were excited about how it operated. People were making stakes like stupid stakes. They were making stakes every single day. They were constantly buying it off the market and burning it. That's why it did what it did. And that allowed people in positions that had liquid positions to sell the price down to oblivion, because you got to see how quick that supply shock goes up when people are using it the way that it's designed to be used. So all we need is another 20,000 stakers to come in this cycle and do exactly what we did. That's it. It's not going to take, you don't need everybody. You need the right behavior from the right people. That's all you need. You get the right behavior from the right people. You don't need everyone. Things that nobody has interest in, their price to go up and they're like, oh, look, the price went up. Yeah, that's because there's 5 of you over there and nobody wants to sell. That's easy to manage. It's not easy to manage when there's 100,000 people. Okay. And that's why people get sucked into that whole concept of memes are great. Yeah. Because you don't have any yet. You haven't had a position yet. You're not in profit yet. You're not selling because you're not in profit yet. And they sit over there for a while and then they leave it to go to the next new thing. And then it starts all over again. Right. So Hex was designed different, but if people are going to treat it like it's everything else, go buy something else. Go buy anything else. I'd rather you buy something else, tourist.
Love it. Love it, brother. All right, man. Well, I'm going to wind it down here. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you as always. Like I said, man, keep up the good work with your Twitter. I mean, I hate when you take a break and you log off for like a few months. I know you probably need a break once in a while.
I can't stand that stuff, dude.
But dude,
and I did the calculation. I lose full days. I lose full days of production, man. Like right now, we're doing a 1 hour stream, okay? But dude, if you got to talk to, you got to give 5 minutes to 100 people. That's 500 minutes. That's 8.3 hours.
That's a lot of work.
When you get to a certain level of people wanting to talk to you, if you give them just 5 minutes, you're trying to give them 5 minutes of your time. That's why I like doing streams like this, because it gets to more people and everybody gets gets
Yeah.
like they get the message, right?
Yeah,
So
we got 400 watching right now.
my job is not to hold everybody's hand. My job is to create the topics for others to discuss and take that message forward on their own, because I've only got so many hours in a day, and I can't be pushing these things. The problem is the things that I talk about, no one does. That's the problem. Nobody's covering these type of topics, these type of perspectives.
Now
We've
that
got,
yeah,
we got a lot of gamblers, but we don't have a lot of collectors. Okay, so
there's a few of us here, but no one has the voice that you do, and the way you deliver the message to the rest of the community is it's different, bro. It's different. So we appreciate it. All
well,
right,
thank
I
you for
mean,
having me.
you want to tell everyone? Everyone probably already knows where to find you.
Don't find me. Don't find me. I have 36,000 followers. I've only got so much time in a day. If I talk to 100 of you in a day, I've lost my day. Don't
I'll get
find
Johnny
me.
on again, guys. That's how we'll find him. We'll get him on here again in the future to rant for another hour, and that's what we'll do to find him. I appreciate it, sir. You have a good day, guys. Thank you so much. Hit the like, smash the subscribe on your way out. I appreciate everybody here. Thank you so much, Johnny, my man. Appreciate it again. And yes, you have changed my perspective. You've added to the reward tremendously perspective for me in my head. I never really took in consideration how much of the tourists are gone out of EHex and how much out of the big bag holders are gone because they sold their bags. Once you sell your bags, what
Or
else
the
you gonna
fact
sell?
that the other city is 10 times bigger.
And the other city's 10 times bigger.
Yeah, with 10 times
Yeah.
more people. And it's got all of mainstream media supporting it and all of the
Yeah. Especially when ETH gets like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. It's gonna be nuts. So I love it, brother. Appreciate it. I think I might pick up a little more EHex on my DCA. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys make your own financial decisions. Don't follow me. I'm just doing the internet. Guys, see you next time. Peace.